I have seen star talent in projects that did not move me none. I knew this was going to be a multi-parter. I knew it. I am Shania, just Shania Banson, and I have been a filmmaker for the past 11 years, and I have been a full-time director, writer, and producer for the past 3 years. And this is part 2 of how to get star talent attached and or interested in your project. Let's say you pitched and you locked in the producers that you are interested in having on your project. Remember when I said that every single project is a business? You want to make sure that you have your business plan ready before you even get to the stage of wanting star talent. That's what honestly made this a multi-parter, because there are stages to getting star talent interested. It's not the first stage. I promise you it's not the first stage. Now you want to work with your producers to make sure that you have a business plan, i.e. your production plan together. What that includes is your schedule. When are you shooting and how many days are you shooting? How many days do you need this actor? How much money do you need for this project? How much money you need is going to include the actor's rates. You want to make sure that all of those details are prepared. You also want to do your research on SAG. SAG is the union for actors. You want to make sure that you check out all of the different agreements and tiers that are available under SAG. There are so many different ones and you may qualify. It's so flexible now. They added so many new things since they renewed it. So please make sure that you are doing your research to understand what this falls under. The reason why you want to have all these details prepared is because if you are looking to go out to star talent, they likely have agents and management. Those are the people who you're going to be talking to. Now, of course, if you already have a rapport, a friendship, connections to different star talents, and you want to bypass the agents to kind of just get the bug in their ear already, to let them know, to tell their agents to kind of funnel it up to them, you can do that too. I've worked on multiple different productions that have star talent, and the actor told me verbatim that they told their agents that they were interested in this writer-director, and that is why we were able to kind of funnel through the agents to get to this star talent. So there are so many different ways that you can connect to star talent. Nepotism knows it well. Call your friends, dads, sons, cousins, mothers, aunties, uncles. You already know how it works. But if you already have that avenue, cool. But if you don't and you're about to cold email these agents, there are certain things that you need to know to make sure that you can get that star talent aligned with you. But once you have that production plan in order and you know all the details of this production, now it is time to go out and do the pitching, the hiring, the emailing. You want to decide amongst your team already who is going to be in charge of that. If you have a casting producer as a part of your dream team, honestly, that is perfect, because their full-time job will be ensuring that they work and continue these negotiations and conversations with a lot of these agents, and they should have experience doing this if they are your casting producer. If they do not, that is fine too, but please make sure that you are prepared for what these conversations should look like. Do not just randomly send this script over and say, hey, I'm interested in Michael B. Jordan. Send this to him, please. No. And also, please do not try the pleasantries with the agents. They don't care to hop on a 10-minute conversation with you just to chop it up and get to know you. They don't care. They want to know what you got for their client, because they are getting so many unsolicited emails from people who are interested in their client, especially if they're star talent. I promise you the pleasantries will get you nowhere. So in your initial email, you want to make sure that you get straight to the point, who you are, where you're coming from, and who you're interested in. They have a list of clients. If you do not know what actor you're interested in, some agents on a smaller tier or on a smaller level will be more than happy to send you their client list, because at the end of the day, they get a fee. So why not choose one of my actors? I have a bunch of them. If you are talking about agents who work for these larger agencies and actually manage star talent, you want to make sure that you are going to them, letting them know who you're interested in. And then you also want to include all of those details that you just put together in your production plan. What days are you shooting? Where are you shooting? How much money you have to offer to the star talent? What SAG agreement are you under? Show them the proof that you are under the SAG agreement. You want to make sure that you're showing them this is official production and I am interested in this talent. Other things you may want to consider, whether or not you're going to get an audition out of them. Certain talent may not want to audition, especially if you're on the lower end of the rate. If you do not have a large rate to offer them, a lot of these agents are going to expect that you did your research on this talent already and that you're interested in locking them in. Maybe you can ask for a 15-minute conversation just to make sure that you're having a great flow with this actor and that they understand what the story is. That you can probably pull off. However, just know that can add time, because people have busy schedules and they may not be able to take out 15 minutes just to come and have an intro with you. But if they truly are interested, then you can probably get that. They get that interest based off the details that you share and, of course, the script. So you want to make sure that you're coming correct when you are going to these agents and asking for time with their talent. Now, let's say that talent is interested and they're ready to lock in. you're not going to keep those conversations going with the talent. You're going to keep the conversations going with the agent, because now it's time for the negotiations. They're going to ask you about the rate and how flexible it is. They're going to ask you about the per diem if you're flying that talent in. They're going to ask you for certain things to be baked into the contract that you will then send to them for review, including the credits. Is this a single card? Is this an end card? There's so many details that need to be contractually baked into this agreement for that star talent to be attached. Again, if this star talent is your brother, sister's, cousin's, mother, whatever the case may be, you can bypass a lot of this. But if you do not have that, you need to treat this like a true business negotiation and understand there's going to be a lot of back and forth emails. They're going to ask you lists of questions that you then need to sign off and approve on and then bake into your contract for that talent. There's going to be things baked into the contract that go all the way into the film festival circuit. There's going to be things baked into that contract that stipulate what will happen if this film gets purchased, if this film gets developed into a feature. All of those things get talked about through the negotiation process. Now, are you following me as to why I said having a casting producer is going to be so important? Yeah, those conversations aren't short, nor are they easy. Make sure that you are prepared for what those conversations are going to look like. Having star talent has so many benefits when it comes down to your project, but it also means that you're going to need to operate your production at a certain scale. And I believe that you should operate every production on a certain scale, no matter what size that it is. I think professionalism is not dependent on budget. Professionalism should be there the full way. The comfort of the actors should always be considered. However, if you are now looking to get somebody who is in America's #1 hit show or whatever the case may be onto your set, you're going to have to step it up a notch and be prepared to have the star talent that you were asking for. Once you get that star talent in, also know that scheduling is something that is contractually obligated. Knowing when your rehearsals are going to be, what day and what time, all go into the contract. Knowing how much time you need in prep with these actors go into the contract. You want to make sure that all of this is already thought about in your production plan, so that when you have this actor locked in, you are operating on what you already planned. This is where great producing comes in. Now, from there, once you have this star talent in your project, the skies are the limits, because you have this amazing attachment. They have lent their likeness and their name to your production in hopes that this will see the light of day. I want to leave off with some words of encouragement. Do not ever feel too small for certain star talent. You never ever know what actor would say yes or no to anything. They are people too, and don't think that just because you see them in your favorite movie or your favorite TV show that there's no way that they could be interested in your $20,000 project. I have seen star talent in projects that did not move me none. And yet I'm like, what made them say yes? We don't know, and you will never know. But you will also never know if you do not try. So just make sure that you are prepared to try and present yourself as an experienced producer and filmmaker when you're going out to this star talent, and you never know what answer you may get from them. I mean, honestly, we've all seen Amari Hardwick in a film, and we were just like, huh? If you don't know what I'm talking about, I don't know. Maybe you don't watch a lot of films, but I do.